kind of a theme I want to wrap this presentation up with. So around the same time I was doing all this work in the Amazon, there was this incredible light being, Rosemary Gladstar, an herbalist from, grew up in California. She started the International Herb Symposium. International Herb Symposium has been going on for over 30 some years, where she brings herbalists and healers and teachers from all over the world together every 2 years. And it was at this conference that all these people got together in the early 90s, and they were like, wait a minute, herbalism's growing, but the plants are disappearing. What are we going to do about it? And that is how United Plant Savers came into form. Everybody got together, herbalists, wildcrafters, herb companies, growers, seed savers, and that was like the genesis of United Plant Savers. And this is a picture of the most recent International Herb Symposium, and Rosemary is kind of right in the center there. But this is like a history of like herbalism being kind of reborn, right? That we're all a part of in this moment. And she, if you don't know of her, she's everywhere. She's an incredible person. Now lives in Vermont and has written many books, teaches widely. But she was the catalyst for United Plant Savers. Our vision to protect medicinal plants that are at risk, right? In 2019, we celebrated 25 years with the opening of the Center for Medicinal Plant Conservation. It's located in Southern Ohio. And if you don't know much about Southern Ohio, we're not far from, the incredible Serpent Mound, right? The Ohio Valley is just so rich with abundance that there's, it's kind of like the heartland of the mound culture, which, travels from Central America all the way up through North America, right? And this is also where, it was the Western frontier. This is where kind of the heart of the school of eclectic medicine is. Mostly what we focus on at the center is we grow at-risk native woodland medicinals that are in high demand, like ginseng, like golden seal, like cohosh, all these roots and barks that make the Appalachia region so incredibly vital for medicinal plants. And for those that maybe haven't, heard of John Uri Lloyd, John Uri Lloyd was one of 3 brothers. They were, incredible visionaries of the eclectic movement. And if you're just to take yourself back in time just a little bit, right? 1800s, there were, probably 60, 70 schools of eclectic medicine. And a lot of this medicine was based on indigenous knowledge, and it was very holistic. And this is what people were being taught. The eclectic schools of medicine were the first to allow women to study medicine. This is where Elizabeth Blackwell went to school, and so it's this history that I feel like is a little bit forgotten, and they were very rooted in the conservation of these plants. This is a quote from John Uri Lloyd. I again plead for government and state intervention in such direction as this. If it was proper to preserve a lingering group of bison or to search the land over for the vanishing wild pigeon, why is it not proper to conserve with the help of strong hand of authority America's most valued flora from absolute extermination? He was, quite the character. His brother was really one of the most pioneering mycologists. If you're studying mycology, you have to know what the Lloyd brothers were doing. They were gathering the rarest medicinal plant books from around the world. They were gathering, samples of fungi from around the world. They not only had a library that they built, but a museum. I would go there to do the Lloyd Fellowship. And my focus was on parasitic plants. So that one image you're looking at is the Balaforiaceae. That's a parasitic medicinal plant. So I was looking at, not just the early medicinal texts of parasitic medicine, which is a whole nother lecture that you can find online if you want to dive deep into that. But this character, if you don't know of him, C.S. Rafinesque, he wrote the first kind of medical flora. And if you just go back a little further in time, right, like the study of plants was medicine. Medicine was the study of botany. Flora was the collection of medicinal plants. When Linnaeus developed the study of botany, he was a doctor studying medicinal plants, and he would go to the far reaches of Lapland to learn the medicinal plants, and then he would send, all these, passionate people who were also wanting to understand medicinal plants around the world to collect flora. And that's how we have our modern day systematic studies of plants. These explorers weren't botanists. They were pursuers of knowledge of medicine. And so C.S. Rafinesque is this character of unparalleled grit who plays such an important role. I mean, he just, he's so prolific in studying nature and writing, and I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole.